What's up guys, I'm Jeff Jones and I brought my 370Z with the Edelbrock E4 supercharger down to Edelbrock to do a quick interview. My very first practice car was an 85 Celica GTS. Definitely not the best car, but it was something that I was able to play around in. Later on through the years, I switched through an RX-7, then to an S13, then I kind of liked the Nissan chassis, and that's when I finally got myself into these 370Z. In 2018, we debuted a new car, the 370Z. We threw in our proven package, our LS engine with the Edelbrock supercharger on there, and so that wasn't really the issue. More so, having the new chassis and different suspension was something that we had to learn. Going through that, we developed a pretty good program of what we needed to do there. So going into 2019, I think we have a solid idea on how we're going to up our game. I'm going on 3 years of being sponsored by Edelbrock. It's really a highlight of my career to be sponsored by them. They've really helped me out improving the car, working with them, and also, you know, it's a who you know kind of thing in racing, so I think it's definitely elevated my career. Fast, loud, and mean. A few years ago, I used to run the turbocharger on the car, and the thing that I really hated about it is nobody could ever hear me. Second to that was the turbo lag. So that's something that you had to get around. You can drive around it, but it's a little bit harder. So when I switched to the Edelbrock supercharger, man, that thing just screams. So the crowd really loves it, and you know, just as soon as you put your foot down, instant torque, ready to go play. Well, their simplicity of the Edelbrock supercharger sits right on top. It's nice and clean. Some of the other superchargers that my competitors have, seems like they have a lot going on around it. There's some shaft that keeps on breaking. I haven't had any issues, man. It's been great. Bolted that thing on and it's worked perfect ever since. And you know, like I said earlier, fast, loud, and mean, and I like playing with it. Goals for Jeff Jones Racing, definitely looking for some top 8s. I want to bust into my first top 4s. And as I've always been saying on the Maximum Driftcast, once I get a podium, I'm taking this Edelbrock supercharger to the podium. Most memorable race, there's so many to talk about, but definitely getting first place at Irwindale Speedway a few years ago was, you know, always going to be a highlight. Right now, one of my favorite tracks is St. Louis. Gateway Motor Speedway, really awesome, fast track, a lot of fun there. So getting past that first lap is something in drifting that's different from regular racing, as it's 110% immediately on the go. So I'd say that's my hardest challenge. Make sure my wife is happy, because she runs the other half of the program. You know, she's booked all the hotels, the flights, you know, manage the money. And I have to leave. I'm gone like 80 days out of the year. So making sure my wife is happy, logistical things, lining things up, you know, being ready and prepared to be able to focus. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you need to have everything in a row just so you can make sure your mind can focus, because I'm a team owner and I don't have a bunch of people helping me out. So the more things I can get lined up and easy for me to be prepared helps out. And, you know, happy wife, happy life. Oddly enough, everyone always says our cars look broken because the amount of camber the front have. And what that does, it gives us a lot of front bite when turning, and once we are sideways, that front wheel actually rolls over and it has a lot more grip when it's that way. So looking at it from a standstill definitely looks broken. Definitely, right? Like the little kids are definitely getting into drifting now. So before it used to be like a trend of like 20-year-olds. Now it's like more of a family thing. And with drifting, what's really cool is like you see it, you hear it, you smell it. It's all right in front of you. It's so close, you know, you can kind of feel it as the cars rumble by. So yeah, it's definitely, it really gets you in all the senses. I think within the sport itself, there's definitely a few drivers that I see, maybe not necessarily their success in what they've gained, but their drive and their passion on how hard they've pushed their program to be. So there's a few drivers that I definitely look up to. Before I got into drifting, I was dabbling a little bit into road racing stuff, but once I learned how to drift, it was really hard to not drift while road racing, so yeah, I just like drifting now. Oh man, I mean, Eye of the Tiger is always a pump jam, right? Who wouldn't listen to that one? I'm not gonna lie, I listened to Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I will be in the kitchen making my coffee, getting my groove onto that for a little bit, so it wakes me up. I actually am a 7-Eleven, like cheap coffee kind of guy. Yeah, I'm just like, put like a lot of milk and sugar and then a little bit of coffee. Yeah, and I'm not like not only Starbucks. So it's hard for me to be a hypocrite about guys street racing because, of course, when I got into drifting, I was playing around on the street. What changed that was finding a local racetrack and then being able to go there. So I think a lot of those guys just don't know where to go. And I think if they were to find a local racetrack they could go to, they'd be able to up their game a lot faster. And you know, everyone wants to race, just gotta be safe about it when you do it and smart. So if you're a dude like me and you want to go pro in drifting, it's going to take a while. My best suggestion would be to get a practice car, go to the local racetrack, just get a lot of practice in. And then once you're looking for sponsors, they want to see you at the track, they want to see you in front of people. Make sure that you have something to show for it, something that you can trade for them. Yeah, we've brought our dogs to the track. It's really cool. I feel like cars and dogs, they go hand in hand. You know, you got these dogs that love being around it, and they love the exhaust, right? They're just barking at it every time I turn the car on. So, but no, yeah, dogs and racing, it's a thing. One dog is Rocky, and he's like he's a little bit of a poodle. We just found out he's a Chihuahua too. We did that like test thing on him. That was kind of wild. I didn't think it was Chihuahua at all. The other one is Jax, and he's just this big old cuddly brindle pit bull Staffshire, and he thinks the whole bed is his. So right next to my shop, there's this place called Old Time Drive-In. Oh man, avocado burger, and it's so hard to not get the chili cheese fries. So that's like the worst part. Well, my rule of thumb when I'm traveling is to never eat something that you can eat at home. So I always just try to find that random spot that nobody knew about. Sometimes it backfires though. No, I don't really have a workout schedule. I think you can kind of tell. It's more or less wrenching on this car is the workout schedule. Just constantly lifting tires and changing stuff. I'd say that's the workout schedule right there. I do have a membership to the gym, and it's all the way across the country, and honestly, I only use it to shower. So $10 a month, you get to go shower everywhere in the country. So for the future of Formula Drift, let's consider that it's only been around for 15 years. When you look at NASCAR in its first few years of debut, also wasn't that big, and they were running booze everywhere, right? So we've really gained a lot of momentum in our first 15 years. So I really think in another 15, another 10, we're going to be a much larger, place and area. I think it'll definitely be more of a household name. Even though it is right now, I definitely see it skyrocketing. Hey, big thank you to Edelbrock for having me out. I really love you guys. Thank you for all your support. You really stepped my game up.